What's up, everybody? I am Johnny Christ, and this is Drinks with Johnny. Thanks for tuning in to another week, another episode. This is going to be a fantastic episode with another fantastic guest. I'm going to be joined here by a very creative, inspirational, and just a young man that's just killing it right now. And I'm just going to bring him on right now. King Vader, how you doing today, man?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here and
Man.
To be a part of this.
Well, I'm glad you're here, man. There's so much that I want to talk about. I mean, you come from, as I said, you're a young man, younger than I am, and it's really inspirational to see your creativity and your drive to do something with what you're doing. You know, you seem to be killing it right now, and sky's kind of the limit. I mean, let's get into it. I mean, I know you started out, kind of started your fame in the Vine videos you were doing, right? Yeah. And quickly when Vine went down, you kind of said, I don't know what I'm going to do. What about all my followers? You had built up this following on Vine, and then you kind of started to go on to create these videos and put them on YouTube and all these different places, all this social media. Now you have like 80 million across all social media followers and subscribers. I mean, that's just incredible for your age to have that ability to do that and have that foresight. What was it like, though, going from the Vine world into the YouTube world? Was it pretty seamless for you? You already kind of knew what you were going to be doing? Or was this something where you're like, oh, shit, like, I'm going to start putting some production into it? You know, like you go back to some of these Vine things, and you could tell it's a little early on, and then you flash forward to what you're doing now in, like, your third season of stuff you got on YouTube. Just incredible stuff, man. I'm an absolute fan. Can you just tell me a little bit about what you do?
So, like, I definitely feel like that transition from Vine to social media platforms like Instagram and YouTube, it felt very natural and very like, it wasn't forced or anything. It was just like, I always put 100% to everything I create. And like, I kind of looked at it like a challenge, but like, I wanted to have a lot of fun with it. I kind of looked at it like, okay, maybe, 6 seconds was like a limit,
Mm-hmm.
and now being able to go on YouTube, I get to surpass that limit and reach for more and to do more. So it's like, I can't go on to YouTube with the same mindset. I have to be more, I have to do more, and I have to progress towards this goal, because the end goal for me is to become one of the greatest directors of my generation. But in order to do something like that, I have to constantly improve and better myself so I can make that goal a reality. So it's like, I feel like becoming like Vine famous or, social media famous, that was never like the goal. It just kind of happened along this journey. But now it's like, I'm kind of taking this foundation and I want to take it, to the sky. I want to show people that anything is possible, through hard work, of course.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of what this journey has been about. It's been a lot of trial and error, a lot of like taking L's and failing to get to those W's. A lot of people don't know, but failure is a huge part of success. And that's definitely what I've learned on this journey, and to be patient. And I was very patient, and I'm still patient, because it's like, I know like this is only the beginning. This is just a start. Like,
wow.
Where I'm at right now is going to be completely different from where I'm at in 5 years from now. So it's like, I like to take my time and really look around and appreciate what's going on, and just know. And also, the best part about taking your time and taking a step back and looking around is you get to see where you started, and you get to see where you are now, and you get to see the difference for yourself. So you don't have to ask anyone. It's like you have the confirmation, because you know where you started from.
Yeah, man. And what a hell of a start. I mean, this is as you said, you have so much higher expectations to keep this thing going, but where you're at already, I mean, it's just, it's pretty incredible. And to hear you speak for the first time, I mean, that you're wise beyond your years, sir. I could see that. That's pretty awesome, man. I want to go back a little bit of the times before Vine. I know that through all these videos, you had a lot of reoccurring actors and actresses and of the like. I'm going to assume that those are some buddies of yours from childhood or something like that. You could talk a little bit about Wolf Graphic, the guys helping you put together all this editing and all these videos that you've been directing. Where did you meet all these guys? Is this, is this something that you
So
guys came together before Vine even, or was it like when you started Vine, then you're like, oh, I got these buddies. Hey, would you guys want to come in with me? And then you guys start creating this empire. So, I mean, what was that like?
so like the friendship and the bond, it definitely happened before Vine was even in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I was just a kid. You know, I was born in Chicago and I was raised in Maryland. So it was like, you know, me being raised in Maryland, I didn't really know what I wanted to do until I actually landed in Maryland. And I met this my older cousin named Ryder Boy, who's actually like now we're a partnership in the sense.
Wait. I'm sorry to interrupt you here. I'll try not to do that too often. But what was your older cousin's name?
Writer Boy.
Ryder Boy.
Yes.
Okay.
So he has partnered with me on a lot of different projects and recently on Netflix Dreams episode 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he's the guy who believed I could do more before I even was thinking more, you know? And he's really what ignited this flame and this passion. So once because I used to live with them, you know, and then I moved to my own spot in Maryland because, you know, when I first came to Maryland, I lived with him and then I moved to my own spot. And then that's where I started to meet my friend group that would now, you know, chase dreams with me in the future, but I didn't know at first. I was just this kid, like, you know, hey, like, you know, I want to film videos and I want to do this. You know, I always felt like the odd man out, but like, you know, I always felt different because when everyone was younger, people were just more concerned about other things, like, you know, just it's not like I wasn't having fun. Like I was having like
Yeah.
lots of fun, but like true fun to me really came from creating these videos and watching them and being characters and stuff like that. Like that was just like super fun to me. And like I met my best friend once I moved to a different location in Maryland, and his name is Taz. That's what
Taz.
he goes by.
Okay.
And he's also in Netflix Dreams with me that we just dropped recently. So we meet there, and I feel like kind of what it was like it was like a, you know, we of course we became friends naturally, but it was also like once I started to introduce him into my interest and like this is what I want to do, this is how I want to do it, like would you want to, you know, join this journey with me? You know, it was
Yeah.
almost like let's do this together, you know. And like I feel like in that moment he put a lot of trust in me and like, you know, let's see, like let's figure it out, because I feel like before then like no one like in that area was really like doing stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
from then we just we was doing it together and it just became more and more, and then it just became like a little bubble that just got bigger and bigger. And now it's like Maryland, well, not saying like all of Maryland, like, you know, not like that, but just my area kind of became more influenced by like video creations. So that was really cool to see over time. It definitely took over time. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people at first definitely didn't believe in like what I was doing or why I was doing it, and no one really agreed in the beginning. And I had to learn at a young age, like I can't seek approval from other people, you know. And
Yeah.
I feel like a part of me seek that approval, but it just came to a point where I had to learn, like I had to believe in myself before anyone else could. So once then that started to happen once I you know, veered off into Vine. You know, I found myself kind of like on Vine. And like, you know, that was me finally doing something by myself. Because before I used to make small films with Ryder Boy and my younger brother, Dices. Like we would all like create. But then
What were those kind of videos though? Like what, like those videos you were doing before, man? That's what I want to get into. I want to get into a little bit. I mean, you're saying stuff like as I was a young man and shit, and here I am, 36, looking at a 23-year-old fucking mogul setting up his career. So much life ahead of him, and he's talking about when he was a kid. Uh, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, what were some of those things though before even your popularity hit on Vine? I mean, when did you decide that you wanted to go into making films or videos of any kind, creating this content? And as you've already said, you want to be the biggest director of your generation. was that in the picture at a very young age before you even started making your own videos for Vine and various other things?
So like the videos I used to make beforehand, they were just like really home videos, but it was like I looking at 'em now, I saw the seeds for like great content. Like I was trying to reach for something that I didn't have the tools to create at the
Hmm.
moment, you know. So I really commend my younger self for that. You know, we did like this like big like you know we made like characters with little stories and episodes. They're deep on YouTube. I will never release this to the public.
Oh,
Maybe
come
one
on.
day.
You got it. You got, especially when you are like the director of your generation, like when whatever that moment is for you, when you feel like you've gotten to that point, whatever that moment is, I absolutely believe you'll get there. Cause I mean, I'm
Thank
such
you.
a fan of what you're already doing. Uh, when that moment happens though, you gotta release some of that shit.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But I gotta make such a difference that people. I mean, the difference is already now, but like
Yeah.
for this goal, this locked in goal, like I want to become the greatest director of my generation. That happened a little bit after Vine because when I was on
Okay.
Vine, I was just concerned with I want to be Vine famous. You know, because I got inspired by people like King Batch and people like Wes Good and
What was that? Was
Slack.
the you said you were inspired by King Vat? Was that where you came when you with your pseudonym?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
So I always went by Vader. You know, Vader was like my thing because I was huge into Star Wars, and
Right.
Darth Vader just stuck out to me, and I was like, I like that guy, you know. But like when I hopped on Vine, I saw this guy King Batch, and he's a really good friend of mine, which is mind blowing. But like he he's making videos, and he's just dropping constantly, and he's coming up with all these creative ideas, and he's super funny and talented. And I really looked at it not for like the content he was making because it was great, but for like what he stood for.
Yeah.
And you know, I kind of took it like, you know, he moves like a king. That's how a king moves, you know. And I was like, that's a big title, you know, and it takes a lot of responsibility to hold up a title like that. And I was like, you know, if he could be King Batch, then I could be King Vader. And I never would have thought it would have turned into this legacy that it's growing into. So it's really amazing to see how far we've came from just making a decision, a choice. But
It's
you know,
it's a ballsy name too, by the way. Just calling you like Vader's already like that's a kind of a pinnacle kind of name to go for. But then you got to throw King in front of it too, just to really go for it. I like it a lot.
thank you. And so then around the end of Vine, you know, because I was so worried about being Vine famous that it actually happened, and I was like, wow, like this is here, like this is amazing. Because what I considered Vine famous was if you could put if you can okay if you could fit the amount of followers in an elevator. If you can't, then you're doing something right, you know.
Okay.
So I felt Vine famous after like
Shit. How
20
many?
people,
Yeah.
you know,
Whoa,
because
dude. I mean, you did a lot more than that. How many elevators you trying to fucking fill, man?
I don't know, but like you know, I know like even the biggest elevator in the world probably can't fit 20 people. I don't know,
Yeah, that's
maybe.
I haven't been on an elevator. Well, I guess the one at Disneyland, the haunted mansion, that
True,
elevator holds like 20 people, something like that.
true. So you know, I felt like I felt grateful for the support at a very small number count. But then once it really became like massive, like 500,000 followers, and that's where the height was because that's where Vine shut down.
Hmm.
I felt like I was on top of the world. You know, I felt like wow, because I've never experienced like hundreds of thousands of people or millions of views on the video. Like I've never experienced anything like this. So I was just like, you know, I was super grateful and I just wanted to do my best. And I was like, you know, I'm really going to do it. And because like when I decided to make that name, I was like, I want to be Vine famous like them as well. But I have to work for that. So then it finally happened, but then they shut down. So once I pushed over to Instagram and I started to, you know, find myself like I had this 6 second limit on Vine.
Yeah.
But now I'm on Instagram and YouTube. I should be expanding myself because even on Vine, like I felt like I was making some very complex type of videos, you know. So I never felt like I was I felt like I was always taking longer form content and squeezing it into 6 seconds,
Yeah.
and never the opposite. But now I feel like I'm making that long form content that I've always been making, I always had a limit on it. So now it's like once I started to, fall in love with the motion and really get into directing, that's when I was like, okay, like I love this. This is what I love to do. Like this drives my passion. Like I could see myself doing this for a long time and being happy. This stuff makes me happy. So I was like,
That's the goal, man.
and it's like, I can be a director, I can be a director, but I want to be one of the greatest directors of my generation.
That's
And
fantastic.
a goal like that is very big, and to most people would feel very unrealistic, but I feel like my entire life, my entire Vine path, my entire everything has been unrealistic. And honestly, I think the word unrealistic is unrealistic. So I'm going to chase this goal, and like everything else I've ever chased in my life, I'm going to work hard and be consistent, and I'm going to make it happen. So
Man.
day by day.
Man, it is so cool to hear someone of your age with this much passion about something. I mean, that's just that's the goal, man. That as I said while you were talking there, that's it. You want to do what makes you happy. I mean, for whatever reason, you can't be going after it for money or anything like that. It's for what makes you happy, right? And it
Yeah.
seems like you're doing that. I mean, it's obvious to me that you guys are having a lot of fun making these videos too. I mean, I absolutely love, for someone who's a layman, to I never caught on to Vine. I'm fairly new to social media in general, to be honest. But for someone like me, as a layman, to see these Vine things and everything take off, it's extremely interesting to hear you talk about like that 6 seconds versus the longer form that you're able to do now. And it just kind of allowed you to progress. Like here at the show, I don't know if you're super familiar. We started out on the Avenged Sevenfold YouTube channel, and it was shorter, and then we started to go to these more long form chats where I could have guys like you on and we could really get into it. And as I said, it's just such a breath of fresh air to hear someone your age doing it, getting out there doing it, and doing it with your friends. Like that's the coolest thing. Not a lot of people do that. I mean, in the band Avenged Sevenfold, we're all best friends, grew up together. It's fantastic just to see someone else succeed with their friends is just amazing. Can you tell me a little bit more about your buddies at that are helping you with Wolf Graphic and stuff like that?
Yeah, so like Wolf Graphic, it started back around like the early stages of Vine. Once I started to take like, creating stuff a little bit more seriously, and this is towards like the end of Vine. Um, I told my best friend Taz, I was like, I want to create like a film production, like a team, like
Mm-hmm.
I want us to get like a team of people with who are like-minded like us, who are willing to chase something that most people won't be able to see, something that you can't see right now, but you can chase it, and you don't need other people to see what you're chasing right now. We need people like-minded and very passionate about whatever it is they want to do. And I was like, we need a really cool name, so I'm like, whatever the name is, it has to have wolf in it. It has to have
Was
wolf
that
in it.
just like a childhood like a animal that you looked up to? Is it your
That's,
spirit
that's my
animal?
that's my favorite animal. I love wolves. I just
Okay.
love how they look. I love how they move. I love how they think.
All right,
And
I'm expecting to see more wolves in your videos coming up. I know you always put in the wolf graphic and everything, but I mean, you got to get some pet wolves then. I mean, that has to be on your list. I mean, if you love them that much, you got to be the director of a generation. Just a pack of wolves in your fucking mansion courtyard and everything
you
like that
know,
one day.
statues, all of it. But like, so we're seeing the same names like wolf this, wolf that, and then wolf graphic pops up because Taz, he's just throwing out words and he says
Yeah.
wolf graphic, and I'm like, yeah, that I like that. That's the one. It clicked instantly. And then after that, we have our name, and we just kind of started to scout out for like different people. And how we kind of one certain people were very close friends with us. So it's like people who are already kind of in the mission with us, filming videos with us, stuff like that. But then over time, how we kind of managed it was like we wanted to see who would really be down with us without the title of the team. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you want it to really feel earned. Like you are a part of this because this isn't something that happened is happening right now. This is something that one day the logo is going to be on the building, and the logo is going to be bright. We
Yeah.
are seeing in the future like something bigger that people can't see right now. So this is an investment. We are investing in you, and you would have to invest in Wolf Graphic and everything Wolf Graphic can be. So it's like, we really at first just see people who can be around and hang during the low times, because it's not always going to be ups. It's not always going to be ups. There's going to be a lot of downs. But when the ups happen, we're celebrating those together, and we're going to shine in a really, really big way. So, but it takes hard work, and it takes knowing like every time you fall down, if you can look up, you can get up.
Yeah.
So
I like
over
that.
time, we're seeing people who are reaching those standards, and we're bringing them onto our team. And it's like one opportunity to another, and then next thing I know, we're doing a Netflix collaboration.
Oh yeah.
And we just dropped episode 1, and we recently just dropped episode 2. And on both projects, I got to bring with graphic members to be on camera and also behind camera.
Mhm.
And it's been amazing, man. It's just like, these are the people that I get to showcase off, because like I know who they are. I know their talents, I know their strengths, and I know what positions to place them in. And just to be able to celebrate this together, because like to work with Netflix is literally like a dream.
Dude.
Like something people say, and then like for it to happen, it's mind blowing. And then for like the people in the team to just be so like they can now, like they already saw it before, but now they're really seeing it. Like this is gonna happen in a big way.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that like a lot of my teammates like placed their trust in me.
Totally.
And even like in Taz, because Taz is like, we're right here. We are the foundation of Wolf Graphic. So it's good to have. And honestly, we don't even treat people as if there's like a above and a below. Like what we really want to seek out to create in Wolf Graphic is everyone being their own leaders, because that's what, like, in a sense, being a wolf is about. Wolves lead and sheep follow. So it's like we're not trying to build a team full of like people who listen to people, even though there is like
And
structure
you'd be
that.
stronger together. Everyone together is going to be stronger than if they went out and did their own thing or something
And
like
even
that.
if they do their own thing, they still move like a wolf, because they are natural leaders.
Yeah.
So we want people to be able to break off into the world and take over in different avenues. And then that's what Wolf Graphic's all about.
Dude, that's awesome. How many members would you say are currently working with you guys at Wolf Graphic? Like how many team members do you have right now, I guess?
I think we have like a solid like nine members. And that's like a lot of in front of the camera and also behind camera. We have a lot of stuff happening just to make things work. And Writer Boy, he has I8 agencies, and they're kind of like what's above us that helps us get different things. And Wolf Graphic Films and Writer Boy Films, we collab on a lot of projects. We collabed on Netflix Dreams to make the amazing things happen for people. And I'm really glad the world's enjoying it.
Dude, I'm enjoying it, dude. Before we get too far into Netflix Dreams, it's absolutely amazing. I love that it's parodies, but your own stories. You're loosely using the characters from these things. I want to get into that, but before I get into that, real quick, speaking on the dreams thing, you go into the dream world when you fall asleep in these episodes, and then you imagine yourselves in these different Netflix shows. A lot of that shows your guys's graphic knowledge and expertise. And you can see the progression of it, right, through going back to some of your guys' older videos to now, where you're doing. It looks really legit, big production stuff happening in obviously in post with the laser shooters and the big what was it, the Avengers thing where you had everything blowing up in the battle scene, and then especially now into Netflix. How hands on are you specifically on the graphic design? Are you more just overseeing someone who's on the computer like your boy Taz, or is it something more hands on for you, or something that you're learning as we speak and you're gonna try and get into a little bit more?
So when it comes to special effects, that's the one part of editing that I don't do.
Okay.
We outsource for editors, and honestly, the great part about that too is that we've worked with like a good handful of editors, and over time, um, continuing to work with these people, they have gotten different opportunities because a video will go viral and then someone will see it and then contact them, and now they're working with like the NBA, or they're working with this company or that company. So it's really amazing to see, like, we just create something off of love, and now that gets you in a position where you can do this and excel in
Yeah.
amazing ways. But then we also can, so since we've been working together since like the beginning of Instagram and all that, now it's like, hey, I'm doing this collaboration with Netflix. Like, you want to, like, let's make something amazing for this. So it's really cool to be able to
So are you
bring
going
bigger.
back? So you're going back to some of the earlier guys that you had when now that
Oh
you had
yeah.
this success? That's amazing. I was going to ask if Netflix is Netflix this deal that you have with them for the Netflix Dreams on Netflix YouTube channel.
Mm,
Congrats for landing that deal, by the way. That shows
thank you.
your tenacity and the fact that you have a creative mind that they wanted to go after. So congrats on that. But did so as you said, you're going back to some of your own grassroots kind of guys that you were sending to the editors before. Has Netflix offered you any of their resources, or have they maybe not so forcefully, but maybe pushed you in a direction for some new team members or anything like that?
So the great thing that I love about Netflix is that Netflix understands what it is that we're trying to do, and they
Mm.
understand what it is that we want to do in the future. So they're literally letting us completely make this happen,
Oh, that's
and that's
fantastic.
and that's the beautiful thing, from writing our scripts to the editing. Like, I hand edit the entire project. We outsource for special effects, and then we send it over for their approval, and then they get blown away every single time, which is
That's
is
rad.
super humbling, and just
So they just let you do
grateful
your
for.
own thing. They're just like,
Yeah,
hey, we need you to do something for this show. Here, watch a couple episodes, come up with something, and blow us away. And then you and your team just go to work.
we just make it happen.
That's awesome, man. I
And I
think
feel
that's
like
so cool.
I feel like that trust has just came from like them just kind of observing the creator I became over time. Like, even like on my channel, like
Yeah.
being able to incorporate so many different lores, worlds, and characters into one thing. One of my recent big successes was Don't Disrespect Halloween 4. That's
Oh, dude,
currently
we're
my
getting into that one. I'm a big Halloween fan. We're definitely getting into that, and
that's
it's
that's
fantastic
currently
job on that
my
video.
favorite project I've ever created right now.
Oh,
And
awesome.
I feel like just things like that and many more of the Matrix Reborn, these are just projects that let
Hmm.
them know, like, okay, this like him and his team can handle something if we approached it with them. So, just the conversation, letting them know what we're about, letting them know what we're trying to do, and we've really worked to be at the position that we are. And we're only about getting better and excelling, So it's like how we approach something this time. Like on episode 3, we might come at it completely different because we're constantly learning, because we want to become better. We
Yeah.
never feel like we're masters or anything like that. We always feel like we're students. We want to sponge in information so we can apply in attack.
Well, let
You
me
know,
tell you, that's a great way to look at life, and make sure you keep it. Even as you start to think you got it, there's always some more to learn. Like I could give you a little bit of future wisdom for you on that one. But yeah, but as far as like the Netflix streams, I've been a big fan of this Cobra Kai on Netflix,
yeah.
and I absolutely love what you guys did with
Thank you.
the Cobra Kai Dreams episode. It,
Thank you.
the before we get into the end though, I thought it was great. I mean, the whole capturing the cheesiness that is Cobra Kai in a way, the after school special s kind of thing. And that's what I love about it. It
Yeah.
reminds me of Karate Kid that I watched when I was,
They kept the essence.
yeah, absolutely. It kept the essence and brought a new story to it. Were you a big Karate Kid fan as a kid, or did you know what Cobra Kai was before you were approached to make this video?
So I feel like as a kid I missed the wave of the Karate Kid. But I saw a lot. I understand that Karate Kid and maybe a couple others inspired, like, um well, I'm not gonna say like a bunch of like karate movies, because that sounds like insane, but like I remember there's these movies called the Three Ninjas,
Yeah, man.
and then there was like
There's
the Warriors.
sidekicks. There's
Yeah,
sidekicks
you
after
know,
that. Yeah.
there was the Warriors of Virtue. So I feel like there's like this whole wave of just like these karate based films, out here, and I'm just like, I missed the wave of Karate Kid. So it was like, but that's like one of the like most like known ones out here. So
Well, yeah, that's why I brought up the question though before, not to get too far off topic here, but I figured that from your age you probably had missed the original Karate Kids and stuff like that. But a
mhm.
lot of the other videos I saw, you had references to Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles, and I'm like, well, that's what I grew up with, and I'm a good that many years older than you. I was just kind of surprised to see that you had some things from the 80s that you knew about when clearly you weren't born in the 80s, and then you had like the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai connection. So I was just wondering where was your childhood inspirations? I mean, what were some of the shows and movies that you saw growing up that kind of shaped your eclectic taste?
So younger, I feel like I got introduced to, Power Rangers at a young age. So that was really cool. One of
Was
my
that the
favorite.
original five though? Was that the original five that you got introduced to, or was it
It
or
might
was
have
it
been
one
the
of the
original
later?
five. It was the movie with Ivan Ooze. That's like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was the original. That was the second iteration. So there was a iteration right before that, and then when that movie happened, they got rid of a few of the characters
yeah, a
and
few
brought
of
in
the
new ones.
Rangers.
A few of the Rangers. So there were new Rangers.
Yeah, so that one, I'm not gonna hold you. That might still be one of the greatest Power Ranger movies ever.
It's
Uh,
fantastic. I
I
agree.
never seen a movie start off with a skydiving scene. That was the coolest thing I've ever
That
seen
was
as a
wow.
kid.
That was rad as a
That
kid.
was super cool. So like I watching that was super dope. I watched anime at a young age. I got hooked onto Naruto, and I feel like that's really what shaped me as a person, just seeing like a story with so much passion and heart, and this being in animation like a cartoon. Well, not cartoon, an anime, and pay
Yeah.
its respect. But like being introduced to that like really taught me a lot of different lessons because it was so much happening in this show. I watched stuff like The Matrix surprisingly as a kid. I watched stuff like Warriors of Virtue, Three Ninjas, uh, Land Before Time,
Land Before
uh,
Time. All right.
Never
A
Ending
classic.
Story.
Never Ending Story is one of the
That's
greatest of all
that's my
time.
favorite kid movie. Is
Oh,
Never Ending
dude, we're gonna
Story.
get
It's
along.
actually kind of terrifying.
It's
I'm not
scary
gonna
as
hold
shit.
you. There's there's a scene in there with these statues, these golden statues, and what's the guy's name? I forgot the warrior's name, but he has to walk through them, and if you hesitate or look at them, they shoot a beam at you, and
Yep.
you instant die. So like it hit back
That wasn't
then.
even that was even the scary part for me when I was a kid. I don't know. Maybe it was because I was a little. When I saw it, I mean, I was probably all 3 or 4 years old the first time I saw it,
Mhm.
and the part that scared me for whatever reason was when the cliff rock monsters came out. I was like, what
What is that?
yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not the graphics that you guys have of today. I mean, this was like claymation, like weird looking, tripped out shit
It
that
was
I was
weird.
seeing.
Yeah, what they did was super impressive.
Oh
For
hell
what
yeah! You go
for
back and
what
it
they
still
had,
stands up, man.
and the dog
Atreyu,
dragon.
Atreyu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had like full functioning eyes, and I heard like he's like a big puppet or a small puppet. He's something, but like that stuff was really impressive back then, and a super dope story for the imagination.
Yeah.
I also saw this movie called the what's it called? It's called the Bookmaster or the Bookmark Master or something like that. It's about this kid who gets lost in this library and like he gets lost in the book. It's almost like Never Ending Story, but with
You
animations.
know that sounds familiar. I don't know that I've seen the movie or if I just remember seeing previews or something or passing by.
But
So
that's the
getting
stuff I
lost in the book sounds very familiar, but that story could have been told a few different times. We don't really know,
but
right?
that's definitely the stuff I grew up on. And for Netflix Dreams, I actually went back to watch Karate Kid. I watched Cobra Kai season 1 and Cobra Kai season 2
Mm-hmm.
because one thing very important to me and my team was we wanted to find a way to incorporate all these different things within 30 minutes. Well, 30 to 20 minutes. Like
Yeah.
how do we build a story with, compelling characters that leads up to some type of final moment, which is a tournament. How do we do what things have done in longer periods of time in
Yeah.
this short amount of time? And I feel like we really hit the mark. And I also feel like we had a lot of cool little references. I
Oh
even got
man,
to.
so many great references in this. Like, if guys at home, if you haven't already checked this out, go check out the Cobra Kai Netflix streams on YouTube. It's absolutely awesome. It you absolutely nailed it. You covered all the nostalgia of the franchise and what's going on right now as Cobra Kai is blowing up on Netflix. I mean, it's one of the most popular shows of today, rightfully so. And I love the reference. I mean, let's just get into my favorite reference was at the end. And spoiler alert, if you haven't already seen it, fuck off, go watch it, then come back and finish this part. But it was awesome because you go into the fact that he goes in for the crane,
Kick,
crane
the
because your legs fucked up. You go for the kick. You watch this and everybody's like cheering. You kicked his ass. Oh, everything. And then you wake up in the ambulance. And then immediately I start cracking up because I'm like, wait a minute, isn't this Vader's dream? So in his dream, he dreamt that he won, but actually got his ass kicked in his own dream. And I just thought that was a great spin on it. And I think the commentators at the dojo or at the tournament did a great job. They were your hype men in the corner there were amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, when you're coming up with those twists or those kind of endings in his dreams or any of your videos, are there several moments or is there like a moment where you just kind of write it down or have the thought and just start laughing to yourself or among your buddies?
So me and Writer Boy, we're the main writers of Netflix streams, and like we knew that we had to end it with a final joke, just a
Yeah.
big laugh, because it's like we have a lot of respect for Cobra Kai and Karate Kid, but this is just like a dream, you feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like we couldn't give me like the big moment, we really wanted to just pay homage, but also give them like a lighthearted joke,
Yeah.
what if, what if,
It
so,
was kind of look of like what would really happen if someone tried to do a crane kick on a professional on like another like kick-ass karate guy. You just grab it and be like, "What are you doing?"
and that was the twist. Even with the first part, was like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if we're gonna do like some type of crane kick, let's switch it up, because I'm like, we got Daniel LaRusso, he did the original crane kick. Then we got Jane Smith. He did like this turn around backflip, land on the face, like he did something spontaneous. So I'm like, we can't just do the exact same thing. I'm like, what if we have the guy run in, he catches it, but then I use my other leg to jump up and then kick him. And I'm like, I feel like that's just something no one would see coming. It will catch people off guard.
And it was reminiscent enough, so everyone knew where it was coming from.
You feel me? And I feel like everyone expected like, the kick was just gonna happen. But
Yeah.
I was like, nah, let's have him catch it. But then that was also the perfect setup for what really happened. And then the do. But it was definitely, when we wrote that down, we was dying laughing. We knew like that was hilarious. We knew people would end this video with a great laugh and be like, I had a good time watching this. And then to even have people like
You had Hawk and Tori.
Hawk and Tori,
those were fantastic.
And to find ways where they can, emphasize the story. Like we had Tori in there as she's like a commander telling him like what to do in his school, and you got to fix this, go fix it before I send someone down there.
Which is kind of, it's perfect. That's perfect Cobra Kai right there.
You know, and it was really cool to create a world and then also bring the fans one of their favorite characters, two of their favorite
characters. Yeah.
Hawk is personally one of my favorite. Hawk and Miguel. Those are my two favorite characters.
I like Hawk a lot. I go for, again, going back to the nostalgia for me, seeing Johnny in a gi again and kicking ass for Cobra Kai. I mean, he's got his soft spot now and everything, so he's not quite the dick he was in the 80s. But it's just amazing. I love that character because they make him as if he's like frozen in time, like he hasn't like he was frozen the whole time and still thinks it's the 80s for some reason. But they never really address it. They just kind of put it out there. I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
When we was also creating our sensei, we wanted to find a nice mix between both senseis, Daniel LaRusso and Lawrence, and try to
Ah,
find a
I see
middle
that now.
ground.
You say it. Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
someone said that in the comments, and that just made me so happy. I was like,
Yeah, you
yes,
get
you did it.
it.
And shout out to DJ. He's an amazing actor. He's acted on a lot of projects with me, from
Hmm.
Don't Disrespect Halloween to The
Oh
Matrix
man.
Reborn and to Netflix Dreams and to many more. And I have a lot of respect for that guy, and like he has range, and like
Yeah.
to see him like this explosive, that explosive sensei was perfect. And even to see him fight, like when he was fighting all
Wait,
the
yeah.
Cobra Kai members.
That was amazing, but I thought the one that super surprised me is when he was like Mad Dogging one of the new recruits, and the kid looks like kind of like a little crackhead kid or something. Like his hair's all whacked out, and he
Yeah,
gets his ass kicked. He's like, "Why is he so strong?"
yeah, yeah, man. You can't underestimate these people. And we wanted to make that parallel between how he approached the dude. He was like Tony with a Y, and he just thought he was going to do the same thing. Nah, that man got some strength on him. So I we got the whole get out thing from it was an episode in Cobra Kai where I think Lawrence just kicked out a whole group of people because of something happened, and he told everyone to get out. We was like, we definitely need to have a moment like that, and just to introduce our core Wolf Dynasty members, and also to create a name for our own dojo was really amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I was like, I didn't really know where it was going when the sensei goes down to your boy DJ goes down to write down the name, and I
Yeah,
was like, I didn't know where it was going. I guess I
yeah,
should have saw it coming a little bit because
yeah.
I should have known it had something wolf in it, but I didn't
we,
at the
we we
time.
wanted that to feel like a moment when it came up, and then watching some people's reactions, like it was like people was like, man, like I wonder what it's going to be, like I wonder if it's going to be like a cool name or it's going to be lame. And then
Yeah.
when they saw it, it was like, it's pretty
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Wolf versus Cobra. Let's see where this goes.
you
Well,
know
one other thing that I noticed in a lot of your videos, I mean, not just this Cobra Kai one, but you have a lot of fight choreography
yeah.
going on. You already said you outsource for editing? Is this something that you guys outsource as well when you're doing your choreography for fighting, or have you worked with different people on that, or is this just something like? Are you just a badass and grew up doing karate and fucking dancing and was just like I could do this? Like, how do you approach your choreography for fighting
So
and whatnot?
I definitely do outsource. And the reason being is because, like I said before, I'll never feel like a master. I
Hmm.
feel like, I'm constantly learning, and I've learned to respect like fight choreo for its own thing. And
Hmm.
because it's like how you respect acting, it's the same with fight choreo, because it's like you're acting with your body. You really have to make these things look impactful and stuff like that without actually hitting the other actor. But sometimes you hit the other actor. It happens not on purpose, but it happens. So some of those hits was real. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna hold you. I ain't gonna tell y'all which ones, but a lot of them was some of them were real.
Oh,
But
you gotta. That's another thing you gotta release. That's an outtake gold right there. If you just put together just a montage of every single one of the times someone actually got hit, that'd be
when
fucking awesome.
when me and Splack, Gene Roberts, he plays Derek, the stepbrother. When
Mm-hmm.
we fought at the end, a lot of those hits,
It was
a lot of
real.
those hits were real. Because that was like every other fight was more like really fast, boom, boom, boom. But we was like, this last fight, we want to. This is a fight. This is like a fight we take time
Well,
on.
it looks like it. I mean, and you guys did a great job. But I mean, also it doesn't. I mean, it's hard to tell on the camera. And we're virtual right now as well. But from what I can see, it seems like you guys are both pretty big guys. Probably could take a punch. Like how tall are you?
I'm like 6'3".
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
you're a big guy. Yeah.
yeah. And Splack, he's around like 6'1", 6'2" ish,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And then we got uh Young Don, the Sauce God, and he plays Marcus. He's the guy who first
God, you
steps
guys
up
have
to
the
me.
best names. I wish I could go back and Avenged Sevenfold and just rename everybody. Like you guys have way, way, way cooler names than we got.
Thank you. But yeah, I definitely, for this, I was like, I gotta, this fight gotta look like a fight. So, I need someone with the same type of build, but also
Mm-hmm.
super agile. And Splack, not only is he a great actor, but he be throwing in on like just on his personal content. He's all about the action.
Oh,
So
dude, when he pulls the jump straight to the feet, I don't even know what the fuck it's called anymore. When you're on your back and you pop up straight to your feet.
mhm.
I was actually watching it with my producer when we were getting ready for you to come on the show, and we both stopped for a second. We were like, "Man, I wish I could be able to do that." And I'm like, "I can't even get off the couch without fucking feeling it in my back, let alone that shit."
Cool detail. So because you asked about the fight
Yeah,
choreographer.
yeah.
So we did outsource for this project, and we usually outsource for different projects. The fight choreographer, his name is V Sworn,
Be sworn.
and
Okay.
he actually made an appearance in the final dojo. He was the guy who was the very first fight. He blocked the dude, did a spinning heel drop kick. He was on the blue team.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to find a way to incorporate him because I'm like, I actually begged him. I'm like, yo, V, like, please, Vito, come on, man. Like you gotta make an appearance, you know?
Yeah.
So it was really cool to be able to like not only have him behind camera, but have him be able to show off what he can do in a place where it truly made sense. And I was watching his reaction. Someone saw him, they was like, oh my God,
That was legit.
yeah, they was like what the Blue Dojo about? What's going on with them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't get a name though, man. Why didn't you give them a name? They're just the Blue
Well,
Dojo.
we had a name for them, but it's like it's on the sign. People really can't sell, but it's called the JoJo Dojo.
The Jodo Jojo.
The, the
I can't even say it right, man.
the JoJo Dojo. But yeah, they were clearly the most talented, I will say.
Yeah.
But you know, and the reason being is because like I noticed like even watching Cobra Kai and Karate Kid, there's always like a third party team who are just elite. Like I'm like, you know, even in Karate Kid, like the third party team, they were doing like flips and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, we can't just have it Cobra Kai with Dynasty. There has to be a third party elite team. And that's
Damn.
kind of what
See,
happened.
that's why you're a director, because most people would completely miss that. You caught on to this detail about something that until you've said it, I never really thought about it. Like, no, you're right. In every single one of those, even not the Karate Kid ones, you go to like Bloodsport and all these other ones. There's always like some guy who's just fucking insane, and he might not even have a real name in the movie.
He's just doing the thing.
He's just
Like,
doing it. He's like, wait a
is
minute,
this
I want to
man?
follow that guy's story. But
What's his origin story?
yeah. But I mean, not just in Cobra Kai though. As I said, there's a lot of other videos of fight scenes and stuff that you guys have done. So you had other choreographers on this. Is this something that do you always foresee yourself outsourcing on that, or as you get better, is this something that I mean, you already seem to know quite a bit about this fight acting. And to go further on that, you're putting yourself in front of the camera a lot as you're making these videos. Do you ever see yourself starting to step away from behind or in front of the camera and kind of get behind like a traditional actor? Or do you kind of always see yourself maybe like I don't know, for a lack of better reference, but someone like a Mel Gibson who did it himself and was always the main actor in his movies?
So like it's very because the thing is, as much as I love directing, I love acting. I love acting so
Mm-hmm.
much. Another goal of mine is for me to receive some award for acting one day, you know. So it's like, but my main thing is directing, you know. But that's why I create things like Don't Disrespect Halloween, where I'm not necessarily the main character, but I actually get to play like the antagonist. I get to
Yeah.
be someone who doesn't have to be on the screen in the first 30 minutes, you know, and then I pop up and it's like, oh snap, there's Vader, you know. So doing stuff like that makes me happy too. Like possible. I can't speak on that, but like I don't always see myself as the main character unless it truly does make sense to me, and or whoever I'm working with the project on. But it's just for me, I I also I do that because I want to stretch my range. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to have someone tell me like what I can and can't do. You know, like what's possible for me. You know, because like say some person is like I'm saying like, oh, okay, I want to do like a super agent video, or I want to be like a 007, and someone's like, you can't do that. And then I make a video or like a short film, and I'm like, yeah, I can. Like, it's right here.
Yeah.
I did it, you know? So it's like, it's literally that proof. It's that I can, and I've already done it, you know?
And
So
I think that is one of the one of the coolest things about your young career so far, and the reason why it's catching on so much, in my opinion, is because you really do touch on so many different things. You know, it's not one genre. You know, it's not, you know, you saw the opportunity from doing you know, the flip bottle on Vine, you know, and seeing the success of that. You got the flip. I gotta see if you could do it before the end of the show. But your flip bottle, where you know you're going into the work thing. Everyone's seen that one. Everyone blows up. Your boy throws coffee all over his face. That was hilarious. It's
Thank you.
probably my favorite part of that video. But you go from that Vine of the 6 second thing that you already talked about, and you're moving on. And not only have you moved on to where, like you said, just the time constraints have been lifted, but now you're stepping out of any kind of restraints. Really, as you describe it, you're just like, I can do anything I want with a camera and some creativity. I can make anything fucking happen, and I think that's cool, and that's such a rad thing to see, because you touch on it. You got these more serious things, and you got these kind of comical things, and then you got everything in between. You know, you're touching on a lot of cosplay and you know, nerd vernacular, for lack of better term, or whatever they, you know, whatever that group is, and you just kind of touch on all these different groups. And I also think it's brilliant the way that you have created ads. Like, it's not just ads for like going on a commercial. You put them on your own YouTube channel, and obviously these companies are giving you things like a laptop or a Google Pixel that I saw one of them.
Yeah,
And
that was really fun.
I mean, when you're doing those with those big companies for ads and everything, and they're coming to you and saying, "Hey, would you make a video for us?" Are they similar to Netflix for the most part, where they're coming in and saying, "Here's our product. I want you to live with it for a couple of days and come up with something," or are they giving you a little bit of direction there?
Well, you know, there's definitely a little direction, but for the most part, it's like, you know, they're coming to me because they want like a King Vader video
Mm-hmm.
in whatever form that is, you know. So it's like, I've had a lot of companies come to me, and you know, they just want whatever is coming out of my mind, and they're like,
Yeah.
hey, like, what is it? What do you think should happen? And I'm like, all right, well, this is exactly how I do it, you know. And whether it be like super comedic, super suspenseful, or whatever type of vibe, you know, it's very interesting approaching different projects with different companies. But I will say one of my favorites has been the Google Pixel with I believe it was Domino's. I
Yeah,
believe
yeah. Domino's and Google Pixel, they bring you
that one was
the
super
phone.
fun. You know, they
Yeah.
they basically you know, asked me like what type of concept I would want to create, and you know, we kind of met in the middle with something, and then we made it happen. And you know, it was really cool to see how it turned out and to see so many people enjoy it. And yeah, you know, I kind of just approach ads like how people should approach concepts, you know, with creativity, with
Mm.
love. You don't just want to be standing in front of a camera like, this is this product, and please buy it, you know. Like, you want to really like sell what's going on, but like in a very engaging way. And
Yeah.
that's what I try to do. That's my approach.
Dude, I think you nailed it on that one specifically, and a few of the others. I think it's really, it just, I bring up those ads and those ad videos to just to kind of showcase that, again, you are coming from such a broad spectrum of creativity and ability to work with different people, but still put it through the King Vader filter, if you will. I mean, you're doing a bunch of different stuff, but there's always the truthness to who you are and what your team is doing, and I really respect that. Speaking of respect, let's get to disrespect, though. You've brought it up a couple of times. It's your
It's there.
favorite. It's your favorite right now. It's my favorite right now. Don't disrespect Halloween. Part 4 is the one specifically that I'm talking about, and man, it was awesome. I know that part of your popularity came from your I don't know if you call it a dance or a avatar shuffle or whatever it is, the back and forth thing. I'd seen it in a lot of the different videos you'd made, and it's always, you know, a comic relief kind of moment in your videos. And then it's not a comic relief moment for me in this video, because when it is doing that dance, it's still super fucking creepy, man. I mean, did you know it was gonna come off creepy, and you were like, yes, or were you like, oh, I got to do my signature right here. I gotta have a little comedic relief in this part of the video. Yeah, let's make it do the fucking dance. Like,
Oh,
was that intentionally supposed to be funny or creepy or neither? And you're just like, I got to do it.
well, the thing is, it's like I never feel, and that's just me in general. I never feel like tied or boxed in to do a certain thing. You know, it's like if I want to, you know, incorporate this dance, this bop into this video, you know, I want to make it make sense, and I want it to have like some substance to it, you know. And like with this scene, I was like, you know, it's like I've done it a lot of different times in different type of ways,
Mm-hmm.
but like the true love I get from doing it on the Don't Disrespect Halloween videos, because I can add creepy elements to it, and that comes from the lighting, that comes from how I'm looking, that comes from how I'm acting, and that all that came into play because I was trying to find a middle ground. You know, like I want it to feel creepy, but you know it can come off either way. You know, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely keeping this creep factor because you know, Pennywise, and what's so dope about this, Pennywise is the dancing clown. So it's like it fits so well. And even like watching It Chapter 1, they kind of did something really interesting. They did a tracking shot on the first film when he's like bouncing back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
and the camera is like moving closer and closer to his face. So I feel like it was already kind of in the realm of like what Pennywise is. So like
Gotcha.
I definitely knew like my goal was definitely to keep that creep factor. But if it felt comedic, I was like, I'm going to allow people to enjoy themselves here. But after this scene, I have two other scenes that are going to make people feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that was my parking garage scene, and that was the baby scene. I was like, I want to showcase to people that, you know, I could possibly be doing horror in the future, you know, and it starts with
Yeah.
the little seeds I drop right here.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
so
what I was just gonna say. I'm glad you brought that up, sir, because that's gonna segue me straight into a little bit of something. I hear that there's a possibility of a Don't Disrespect Halloween movie coming. Is this something that you can talk about, or something you're gonna keep under wraps for a little bit?
I mean, as far as what I can say on it, it's just like, you know, from part 4, because I didn't know I was going to make a part 4. You know,
Mm-hmm.
part 3 did really good, and the hype was that I brought Pennywise into it because I was always Jason.
Yeah.
But like, I brought Pennywise and Jason in the same scene in a completely unexpected way, because for every year up until part 3, it's been Jason who calls Kenny's phone, but this time Jason was tied up, and he gets a call from Pennywise. And you know, it just flipped the series on his head a little bit. You know, it tilted it, you know, because Pennywise is in it for just a small time and then he leaves.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, people really love Pennywise. They're on Twitter talking about, oh my god, the way he looks is so interesting and this and that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then next year comes up, and it's getting closer and closer to Halloween, and then I started getting those tweets like, yo, I can't wait for Vader's Halloween video. And I'm like, what Halloween video? You know?
Yo, shit, I forgot about that.
Like, it wasn't even planned. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, if I'm gonna do this, I have to take this seriously. But I want to attack it in a different way, because I felt like every time I made a video, I was progressing in time and just story and everything. I was adding more and more. So I'm like, part 4 has to really flip the whole series on its head. So I kept what was true to the series, which is the bop, the vibes, the music.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, this is horror. This is my first time like really trying to step into horror. So let me really try. And I felt like it was a challenge. All the way up until making that film, I watched nothing but horror films for like 2 months straight.
What were some of those films you were using for inspiration?
I watched the movie The Witch. I watched Hereditary, Midsummer. I watched As Above, So Below. I watched so many horror movies. It makes no sense. The Boy 2.
Well, it actually makes perfect sense though.
it Chapter 1, It Chapter 2.
Great movies.
All types of films. Like,
did you see it? Did you see Chapter 2 of It? in the theaters by chance before we? Yeah.
Yeah, after I saw it chapter one, I fell in love with like the film, like
Mm-hmm.
because I was never. It's not like I wasn't a fan. It's just I didn't like how the old one looked for some reason. Like it
Well,
just
the old one was a made for TV movie.
yeah,
It was
exactly.
yeah. So it was a two-parter on TV.
So when they redid it in this light, this cinematic, I'm like, oh, and then Pennywise's look, I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. And then like when I saw it chapter one, the opening scene, I feel like they broke one of the number one rules in film, and that's that kids don't get hurt. They never get hurt in film.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Kids have plot armor. So when I see little Georgie get his arm
Ripped
bit
off.
off
Yep.
and is crawling away from a sewer pipe with one arm, I'm like, oh, so this is a different type of film. Okay.
Yeah.
The rules out the window. I like it. So that already caught my attention, and that's kind of where I grew my love for the character. But Don't Disrespect Halloween 4 was just like a super fun ride the whole way through. And one of my favorite moments on set was being Jason and walking out of a lake. I love that.
Oh, dude. So is it safe to that? I mean, no. That's the quintessential. The camp scene there. I'm trying to blink on. What's the name of the camp from Friday the 13th?
Camp Crystal.
Crystal Lake. Crystal Lake. Thank you. Yeah. So is it safe to say that Jason Voorhees would be your all-time horror guy?
Oh yeah, Jason. That's my guy right there. Like,
see, I'm more of I love Jason, but I'm more of a Freddy guy.
But that's the thing. It was so cool to see these forces collide. You know, and we know who won. So
do we? Wait. Do we? So I'm pretty sure when Jason's walking away with Freddy's head, he still has a comment. I don't think he's quite done yet.
He gives the camera a wink, but it's like, where your body at? Like, I got your head, or maybe this is a dream.
Hey, that's going back to the Dream episodes on Netflix, YouTube, right there.
You feel me? But for part 5, because it was going to be a part 5, but I realized I'm going to be ending this series within either 2 more parts or in my next part. But okay. I'm like, the world has got so big now, and then even with our big cliffhanger at the end of part 4, I'm like, we have a lot of elbow space to do a lot of cool things, because there's not really a lot of universe. Well, the only universe where 2 horror killers really exist was Freddy versus Jason, to my knowledge. So it's like, this is a world that can make anything like that happen. And it started with part 3 when I introduced 2 of them, but part 5, I definitely know it's Don't Disrespect Halloween the movie, and it's a whole different.
I can't wait for that, man. I can't wait for you to create that into its own, Hollywood movie franchise. Like not, you've already got parts 4, 5, you said 5 in the movie and everything. It's already creating by your own terms, but like to have a reoccurring Hollywood film would be pretty cool, I imagine, for you.
That'd be really insane.
Yeah. So real quick though, speaking on Hollywood, and you quote Maryland as where you grew up and stuff. Are you a sports fan at all? Are there some sports teams from a Baltimore Ravens fan, LA Lakers, anything like that?
I've never been too much into sports. I feel like I like specific people.
Okay.
I feel like to root for a whole team, like I don't know, like I don't know. Like for me, like I root for certain people. Like
okay.
Some of my favorite basketball players are like LeBron James, James Harden, John Wall, Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry. But football, honestly, my favorite football player is Tom Brady.
Oh, come on. Right off the heels. Favorite. We're recording this on January 26th. Tom Brady just advanced himself into the 10th Super Bowl of his career. Fucking unbelievable. I'm a Raiders fan. I kind of hate it, but I have to respect it. It's
unbelievable.
It's just I don't even know. I don't even know how. I don't know. That guy's not from this planet, and he's like such a nice guy. Like he seems like such a nice guy on top of it. Everything else is just. It's so funny. I bring that up though, just again to bring up the day. It is January 26th. Last year on this day, the world lost Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant. As a huge Lakers fan, you said you're a LeBron fan, so you got to pay attention a little bit to the Lakers now.
Yeah.
Um, did you watch a lot of Kobe? I mean, you said you're more of a fan of individual players, and he's one of the all-time individual players that a lot of people could latch onto. Were you a Kobe Bryant fan?
So I feel like overall, I definitely was a Kobe Bryant fan, but it was like I never got to. I feel like I missed the wave of when he was really in his shine. But where I fell in love with Kobe Bryant was the stuff he did off of the court,
Yeah,
like the speeches he gave and the things he did. I feel like that's the person like
winning the Oscar for that for a short film.
and so many more accomplishments. But
Hmm.
to hear how he speaks, it backs up the person and the player he is, especially on the court. It's like you can hear it in him. You can hear all the heart. And to lose someone like that was very unsettling. And I
Of course.
remember it was last year. I was I was on my way to do this opportunity in New York, and I was taking this Uber to the airport, and like you know I like the driver. He was like, yeah, man, this is weird. He was like, I'm sorry, just give me a moment. He was like, I keep hearing on this news, but like R.I.P. Kobe, and I'm like, what? He was like, I'm like, nah, that
It
that gotta
doesn't
be like
compute. It doesn't. It didn't make sense, right?
yeah, I was like that. I literally said that has to be fake news. It
Yeah.
has to be because there's people on Twitter that they start hashtags for all the time just randomly. So I'm like, that has to be fake news. And then like we're driving, and then like I go through my Twitter, and it started to really hit and sink in. Like this is really happening.
Hmm.
Like we just lost Kobe Bryant, and like the driver, he was like he was crying, and it was hard to see like this man and everything he stood for and everything, like this tragedy. It hurts. It
Yeah.
hurt a lot of people
It hurt a lot
because
of
so
people
many.
who never even met him, like myself. I never met him, but just a huge fan of, as you said, on and off the court. Just everything that he stood for and strived to be and strived to help out others. Just and to pass so early and so tragically.
Yeah,
And with all the stories of how truly happy he had become since retiring from the court, and all the philanthropy and all the cool projects he was just happy with and just stoked on his life and his family, and just be taken that way was just devastating. And our hearts a year later still go out to all the friends and family who knew him. And I'm glad you shared your little story of when you heard the news too, because I think that's something for everyone that lived through that. It's going to be one of those things, man, where everyone's going to be able to ask, where were you when you heard the news that Kobe Bryant passed? And I think that's a testament to how many people he touched in such a wonderful way in his
people have
life.
never even seen them before.
Yeah, incredible, man. Last couple things I want to get into with you. Your music on these videos.
Mm.
There's the seems to be the theme for the bop or whatever that you were talking about, that kind of reoccurring music there, and then but then sometimes you're taking from these parodies. You're actually taking some of the music from those films. And I hate to use the word parodies. What do you call them? Because they're not really parodies. You're making your own stories off of them. And in parodies, most people think comedy every time.
Yeah.
Is there a new word for what you would call these?
A word I fell on was revisions.
Revisions. I like that. We'll call them revisions moving forward. So in these revisions, you're using some of the music from the originals, and you have like one of my favorite things. Speaking of music, was the zombie thing that you did with for that video game. When you had him do the dance from the wedding dance that everyone does 3 times now, clap your hands and
Yeah,
move to
the
the
cha
left.
cha slide.
The cha-cha slide
Yeah.
on zombies to get out. I gotta hey, kudos on that one, man. That's creative right there.
The zombie slide.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I actually I had to record that song, and that was my voice and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so that I'm glad you. So you had to overdub your voice for that and do that. Do you guys at Wolf Graphic and your boys and everybody? Do you sometimes come up with original music? Do you guys have a
Yeah.
DJ in the house or?
So
Uh,
my younger brother, I am Dices.
mhm.
He creates a lot of he actually created the the soundtrack for Don't Disrespect Halloween 3 and one of the soundtracks for part 4 when Pennywise was first introduced into the story when he first came out that closet. That signature song is created by Dices, and Dices, he creates a lot of he does a lot of things, man. Like this guy, he's skyrocketing on TikTok. He's doing big ads, and also behind that too, he creates music and he also produces beats. And this kid is just like his own force.
Awesome.
So it's amazing to see that too. And yeah, you know, we even do things. Another thing like about Wolf Graphic too. Every year we had to miss last year because of everything that was going on, but we do this thing called the Wolf Graphic Cipher. And we actually show people that not only can we do everything we do, we also know how to make music. We also know how to rap. And we do like a cipher with the whole group, and we just
Oh, that's rad.
yeah. So we did 2 so far, and you can see the progression in both. But Dices is definitely the man when it comes to getting custom things made. But when it comes to our scores,
Yeah.
and also when it comes to trap beats, I use a specific group of friends that I know. Their name is Remix Maniacs, or mostly known for J Squad.
Okay.
They've been making beats for a very long time, and we've been collaborating for like a good 3 years now. And they're really humble people, really great people to work with, and we've been working together for a long time. So it's really dope to see how far we've came. And also I so with scores I use these people called the orchestrators. I want to pronounce that wrong. And Centis Tempo. And also Odwin. Shout out to Odwin, the producer. That man's
Okay.
amazing. He helped me create my final beat for the sequence in the Matrix. And
Okay.
the reason why I love the Matrix beat so much is because I was able to incorporate the bounce, but also with fight choreo in the mix of it, in action and all of that. And that's one of the things I've always tried to attack. I'm like, how can I break this cycle that people they're used to? How can I break it out to make it something completely different?
Hmm.
And the Matrix was the first time I was able to do that. Like I'm doing the dance, I'm fighting people, I'm going to slow motion, I'm dodging bullets, and it was a really fun time. And with the people who scored it, they helped us score the beginning to give us that Matrix sound,
Yeah.
and go all the way through. And yeah, I'm glad so many people enjoyed it. I have no idea where the view count is, but we definitely hit 1 million views. So, and that was like my first project being like 50 minutes
Well,
long.
speaking of views, I saw in one of your other interviews you were talking about how this all kind of started for you, and at the beginning, and even today, you tell people, and you've kind of lived by it. It's not focused on the views; they'll come. It's just about creating that content that you feel strongly about, and I really like that. I mean, it's an approach that I've used in music for a long time, and I'm kind of new to this YouTube and everything world. But just in general, like I think that's a great philosophy to live by. Don't worry about the views; make the content you want. The views will come.
Exactly. It's about the quality. It's really about the quality. I feel like people who are obsessed with a number, they're focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like even like if you're creating social media videos because like you want to get money and you want to like all that stuff happens on the back end of this. The front end of this is that you have to create content as a genuine person.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you can do all the craziness like the going in the store and causing havoc and it goes viral. Yes, but like how long is that going to last
Are
before
you
you
talking about
realize
all the Karens of the world? Because they go viral all the time now.
they do go viral? But it's not, even just the people who they have a strict page of like I want to cause havoc because I
Yeah.
know it's going to go viral. It's like you can only do that for so long before you're going to realize you don't enjoy what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
only doing this for a view count. And once you realize you're doing this for this view count, and once that view count doesn't hit, you're not going to feel like pleased or accomplished or happy. But if you do something that you put 100% in, and say that, yeah, it doesn't blow up right now, right? Cool, but then you go on to the next project, you put 100% to that project, and then you go into the next project, and then you put 100%. But this project goes viral and it blows up.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? people are going to go back and watch your other videos and see what you've been about, you know. But if you only put 100% in this project, you know, it's like that project that you thought deserved the views is going to get those views. Trust and believe, you know.
Yeah.
It's like everything has its moments and everything has its time. You just have to you know, truly be in love with the creation. The that's the first part, being in love with what you're creating, and everything else is going to come on the back end. Like
Yeah.
I didn't start making Vine videos because I thought one day I was going to be able to get paid and be able to live in the house and have my own room one day and stuff like that. Like I didn't think that. I was just like I love making videos, so this is fun. Like I like, this is fun to me, you know. And I fell in love with the creation of making videos, and because of that, I guess I was rewarded in a way. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, the rewards and all that stuff that's gonna come, you know, but it's not guaranteed in the beginning. You have to put that hard work in.
Yeah, I always say that there's an incredible amount of hard work that goes into any venture of success, but there's also a good amount of luck that comes in there too. You got to be at the right place at the right time as well. I really appreciate your inspirational words there too, because another cool thing that I saw that you do to inspire the next generation or even your contemporaries. I mean, I don't even know what the next generation is if you're if you if you at 23 isn't already the next generation. But yeah, the I noticed that you have your at King Vader is most of your social media. You know, that's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those things, and YouTube. But you also still have your real name, Dominique Barrett, at Dominique Barrett, and I'm to understand that you have that Instagram is specifically to follow other people that you see that are doing their next thing, whatever they're passionate about, and you kind of follow them in hopes that, you know, if someone sees me following them, maybe that'll open them up to another thing, and you're kind of just giving back to the creative community that way.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? And I did hear, if you don't mind giving me a couple quick little stories about the couple of times you've been burned by it as well.
So you know, with that, it's like with my second account, it used to be called I Am King Vader. That was my original Instagram name in general.
Okay.
But then it was like I knew I wanted to get the at name King Vader. That was always my goal, and then I finally got it. And then I Am King Vader became my second account. But somewhere along the line, you know, I didn't. I started to realize like that I'm creating. King Vader is a personality, is an entertainer, is he's a director, you know. But Dominique Barrett will always be me because this is the name I was born with. This
Mm-hmm.
is who I am at the end of the day. So it's like, you know, I want my name to have the same amount of power and inspiration behind it as King Vader does. So it's like after a while, I was just like, you know, my second account should be this name. This is because this is my name, you know?
Yeah.
You know, in general, when it comes to following people back, there's sometimes when I have encounters with people and, you know, we have a good conversation and stuff like that, and they tell me what they do. And, you know, to keep up with them and to see what they're doing, because that's like my personal account. I tell them like, okay, follow me on my personal account. I'll follow you back. And, you know, let's chop it up. Let's have a conversation because I usually be able to see most of my DMs on my second account versus my first. And, you know, also like I'm also trying to, in a sense, separate myself from the director and the entertainer to the writer and the actor and the inspirational speaker. You know, I'm very inspired by people like Childish Gambino,
Mm.
who can go on Saturday Night Live and perform as Childish Gambino and host as Donald Glover. To
Yeah.
me, it was mind blowing. That was next level.
Very
And I was
cool.
like, I want to do something like that because King Vader is this identity and this creation that I created when um I really like I needed to become something more in the sense. I needed to become something that I saw when I was a kid. Like I was like, you know, I want to be this guy who know, like it's like I imagined what King Vader would be, and now every day now it's like I live that life. So it's super amazing to see like I created this from a young age, but now it's like, you know, I'm also Dominique Barrett. So it's like, I do that to separate the two. So that's one thing I want to accomplish one day, is to get awards for different, two different beings, because that's exactly how I feel like
What
they
do you?
are.
So I think you just put it a little higher. You only named two. I think you need a few more. I think you need to be one of these cats that are going to go for the EGOT award. I think you can do it. I think the ability that you've already shown at such a young age, you keep building off of this. I think only the sky's the limit, as I said at the beginning of this conversation, for your career. That's already, I mean, already gigantic and so many cool things. Last couple things I want to ask though. We talked about music real quick. A lot of my fans of this show know me from my musical career. So I got to ask real quick, like on your spare time, what's some music that you're listening to? Do you listen to all different genres? And for a youngster like yourself talking to an old man like me, what's something that I probably haven't heard that I should go out and listen to?
So my favorite artist of all time, all my friends know this, is Drake.
Okay.
I love Drake. I love what he stands for. I love how he has to move because of how much pressure he applies constantly. It's like he's like 30 or 32 or something, and
Hmm.
but he's still at the top of his game. And I really commend that. He can
Still
stop.
at
He can
32,
stop.
you're commending him at 32. Commend him when he's at like 60, still doing it, man.
But the thing is, I know he's not going to be doing it for that long.
Okay.
It's just him doing it now is like a choice. He's
Yeah.
been on top of the music game for 10 years now, and that's a very hard thing to do. But Drake has done it, and he doesn't look tired. He looks like he's
Yeah.
ready for 3 more years. So I respect that. For me, in general, I feel like I listen to so many different genres of music, and that's just to open up my variety of music I choose when I'm editing a scene up together. Like, no, this could be nice if I added like some rock onto this, or some jazz. It just gives me more variety on the
Yeah.
editing board. One thing I catch myself listening to all the time, I listen to inspirational speakers like music. So uh, some of the quotes I really believe in has came from just constant listening to people that I look up to, like Jim Carrey, like Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson, Will Smith, uh, Denzel Washington,
Damn.
Chadwick Boseman. These are the people
Rest in
that
peace.
have fueled the fire and the passion inside me to continue to do what I do. And I also give this technique to a lot of my members in Wolf Graphic. It's like, take a day, not even a day, just in the morning, listen to one of these things, one of these inspirational speeches, just to start your day off. And what it does is it takes these messages that you're hearing, because, whenever you hear something, you kind of are repeating it in your mind.
Mm.
So you're taking these messages and you're locking them up in your subconscious. So then when you have times when you're at your low, you're not going to look for the negative thoughts. You're going to look for those positive thoughts that you're so used to hearing, those positive words about how it feels to fall down, and it gives you that confirmation that it's not just you. It's more people go through adversity, and if they can get through it, you can too. So people get pushed to their limits. That's what being human is about, getting pushed to your limits, but trying to find a way to surpass them. you know so that's the music I listen to, is inspirational speakers. Another thing
Damn.
I listen to is I listen to movie scores,
Oh
like
yeah, some great
you know
movie scores over the years, man.
like
I still listen to a shit ton.
like Creed, Black Panther, Inception. Hans Zimmer is my favorite composer
Ah,
ever.
that's a good one to go after, man.
I
Right there.
want to
That's
work
Hans
with
Zimmer's
that
great.
man one day. Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, I think you'll have no problem with that. I mean, like as I said with everything. I mean, just listening to you right now, you're inspiring me right now, Vader. I'm just so excited. I'm so glad to have you on. I got to ask one last question though before I let you go. You did the Netflix Dreams episode for the Raincoat Academy, which is obviously off of the Umbrella Academy. Now,
Yes.
speaking on music, did you have to listen to My Chemical Romance before you got into that, knowing that Gerard Way was the creator of the Umbrella Academy?
So when it came to music, because one thing I loved about the Umbrella Academy is that its music almost feels flawless because it's so unique
Yeah.
and fresh, you know. I definitely wanted to keep that type of spontaneous, upbeat type of music going into the project. I'm not too familiar with most of the songs, but I'm familiar with any song I heard during the show because
Okay.
I had to watch the show like, you know, constantly. And like you know, that's one thing I love about the show most. It's just like its music selection.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. So just watching that show and I feel like the greatest part about actually finishing Raincoat Academy is that uh we got we got the big green light from the creator of the show. He loved it. So to me, it's like that was the biggest compliment of all is that he enjoyed what we created. You know, so
Awesome.
I'm like thank you. You know, like let's you know, I'm glad that we made them happy.
Well,
And
he's definitely not alone. You got a lot of people out there enjoying the content you're putting out. I want to thank you again so much for your time. Everyone go follow King Vader, all the social medias. Easy enough to find, man. He's everywhere. He's a stud right now. He's got a lot. I mean, this is a name, you know, whether it be King Vader or Dominic Barrett, it's going to be a name, if you guys don't already know, you're first of all under a rock. Second of all, there's a lot of great things going to be happening. So thanks again, Vader, for being on the show. And yeah, man, of course. And I can't wait. We got to stay in touch because, you know, this virtual stuff is cool, but fuck, man, I'd rather sit down and have a conversation in person down the line. There's so much more I know I could get into with you. We could just hang and shoot the shit.
100%. Definitely got to make it happen. You know, I hear things are clearing up. You know, I'm waiting. You know, I'm listening to the news day by day, but we definitely got to make it happen.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we will, man. Let's keep in touch.
100%.
All right, man. Cheers. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in this week. And thanks again to my guest, King Vader, for being on the show. Make sure you guys subscribe down below. Head over to drinkswithjohnny.com for everything Drinks with Johnny. Look down right here in the description. Use some of those links. Leave a comment. Do all those fun things. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.